Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video. So in this video we will set up our date picker and bottom sheet for the task screen. So let's first see the screenshot. So here we can see when the user will click on this calendar icon, then this date picker should open. So now we will set up this date picker. So here in our component package, let's create one more file with the name task date picker. So to show our date picker, we have this date picker dialog. So we will use this. So this date picker dialog comes with the Material 3 API. So here let's opt in this experimental annotation API and let's put these on the separate line. So here after this confirm button, we will also use this dismiss button. So we will provide these things through the parameters. So let me create all the parameters related to this task date picker. So here we have these many parameters we will use. So first let's minimize these imports. And this date picker dialog is exactly similar to that alert dialog which we used in that delete dialog and that add subject dialog. So here we have this parameter called on dismiss request. So this will be called when user will try to dismiss the dialog by clicking outside or pressing the back button. So here we will give the functionality through the parameters. So let's put this on dismiss request. And here in this confirm button we will use text button. And here I am using the text of this confirm button and this dismiss button as OK and cancel. And now in the last we have this content parameter. So here let's provide this content parameter. And here in this content we will use our date picker. So here we only need to provide the state. So we will provide it through the parameter. And also we will only show this date picker dialog when our is open value will be true. So let's use our task date picker in our task screen. So here after this delete dialog, let's use our task date picker. So here for our task date picker, let's create the state. So here I have created this first one is date picker dialog open with the help of this remember savable and the state of this date picker with the help of this remember date picker function. So let's opt in this experimental annotation API and let's use our states in our task date picker. So here let's put that. So here on dismiss request we will update our state picker to false and in the same way on confirm button also. So now let's go to our calendar icon and let's put this state to true. Now let's run our app and see how this is looking. So let's click on this calendar icon. So here we can see our date picker has opened and let's click on this cancel button. It has disappeared and also outside the dialog it has again disappeared. Now we need to give two functionality to this date picker. Right now we can see it has not selected any particular date. What it should do, it should at least select the date which is currently on the phone. And also we should disable the functionality of selecting the dates previous to the current dates. So we will give these two functionality. So first let's minimize this and let's scroll up. So here when we are creating our date state, so we have this parameter called initial selected dates. By default the value is null. So here we will use the instant class. So this class comes with this Java time API. So let's use this class and let's use the function now. So it will give us the today's date, but we need to give the date in the millis. Here we can see it will accept only the long value in the millisecond. So what we will do, we will convert this today's date to 2 epoch milli with the help of this function. So here with the help of this line we can set our initial selected date to current date. Now next functionality we need to give that user should not select the date previous to the current date. So for that let's go to our task date picker. So here in our date picker state we have this parameter called date validator. So here first I will write the code and then we will discuss. So here with the date validator we get the time stamp this long value. So here we are checking that what date user is trying to select. So here we are taking that time stamp and converting it to the date. And here we are taking the current date of the system. Here we are saying that selected date should be greater than or equal to the current date. So here with the help of this function we can achieve that thing. So now we can run our app and see these two functionalities. Let's click on our calendar icon and here we can see by default it has selected the current date. And we can also see it has disabled all the dates previous to the current date. Here we can see like this. But if we want to select some date in the future, we can select so. Let's select this 10 and press OK like this. And again, let's click this. And we also have a date input when we click on this edit icon. So here we have our date input. So now next thing what we will do, whatever date will be selected, so it should show on this text. Instead of that 30 August, it should update the whatever date has been selected through this date picker. So for that, here let's minimize this and this also. And let's go back to our task screen and scroll down. So here we will provide the current date with the help of that date picker state. So with the date picker state we get this selected date millis, and with this selected date millis we get the long value in the millisecond of the timestamp, but we need the string value. So what we will do, we will create an extension function that will convert this timestamp millisecond to a string value. So let's go to our util package and here on this common file. So here after this, let me create one more extension function. So here we have this extension function on the long type. So this will be a nullable long type, and this will be the name of our extension function, and it will return this string value. So here we are taking this long value and tries to convert to local date through this instant class. And if it fails to convert into that local date, so we will take the current date and then we will format our date in this pattern. So let's use this function in our task screen. So here let's place dot and use that function. Change millis to date string. Now let's run our app. Now we can see it has given the current date to this due date, because initially it should select the current date. Now let's select some other date, something like 26th October, and press OK. So here we can see it has updated to this 26 October date. So now we can see our date picker is working perfectly fine. Now we will get the functionality of that bottom sheet. When the user click on this drop down icon in this related to subject, so our bottom sheet should open. So for that, first let's minimize this. Next, for our bottom sheet, let's create new file with the name subject list bottom sheet. So here we will use our model bottom sheet which comes with the Material 3 API. So here again this will ask for that experimental Material 3 API annotation. And first let me create the required parameter for this function. So here we will use these parameters. First let's put this on the separate line, and here let's use our sheet state, and this on dismiss request we will give through the parameter. So after this we have this parameter called drag handle. So here we can provide the content of that drag handle, and here in these parentheses we can provide the content of our bottom sheet. So let me write all the content, then we will discuss. So here what content I have provided. First I have provided this drag handle content. So here we will use this column layout. So in this column layout, first with the help of this bottom sheet defaults, we will take the drag handle. So this drag handle is just a visual marker placed on top of the bottom sheet. And after this we will use the text for that bottom sheet title. So here this will be our title. And after this I have given 10 dp height. Then we have this divider. Divider is simply a thin line, and the bottom sheet content we will use a lazy column. So here this content padding will provide the spacing all along the four edges. And here we are taking the subject list, and for each subject we are using a box layout. Here we are providing the subject name, and this box should be clickable. So here we are using this clickable modifier. And after this I am using this if condition. If that subject list is somehow empty, then we will show this text. So now let's put our model bottom sheet in this if condition. So here if this is open value will be true, then we will only show this model bottom sheet like this. Let's minimize this content. Here this is how. So let's scroll up and minimize these imports, and let's use our bottom sheet in our task screen. After this task date picker. So again let's create two state. First one for this bottom sheet state, and this is open state. So here I have created this sheet state with the help of this remember model bottom sheet state, and here this is bottom sheet open. I have just used the simple remember instead of that remember savable, because I don't want to keep this bottom sheet open on the configuration change. So let's use this state in our subject list bottom sheet. So here on this on dismiss request, we will just simply pass this value to false. And now let's update this value to true on click of that icon. So let's scroll down, and here on this on click of this arrow drop down icon, let's make that is bottom sheet open to true. Now let's run our app and see this change. So let's click on this icon. So here we can see this is our bottom sheet, and let's minimize this and let's go back to our bottom sheet. So here we can see we have provided this drag handle content. You can see all the content between this divider and that drag handle. And this bottom sheet content I have provided through this lazy column. Here we can see. Now we need to give one more functionality. Like right now we can see if we want to close this bottom sheet, then we can click anywhere outside this bottom sheet, so it will close. Again let's click on this icon, and now if user select any of this subject, so then also it should disappear. Let's click any of this subject. So right now we can see it is not disappearing. So we will give this functionality. For this, let's go back to our task screen, and here on this on subject click we will provide the code. So for that, first we need to create a scope for coroutine, and let's use this in our on subject click. So here why I have wrote this much code, not simply just is bottom sheet open to false, because according to the documentation, if we are dismissing the bottom sheet apart from this on dismiss request, then we need to write this code. So here first we will call this hide function from our sheet state, and when this code will complete, then we will invoke this on completion, and here we will check if that sheet state dot is visible is false. Here I am negating this, then we can only update the value to false. So this is how we provide the functionality of dismissing the bottom sheet if we are not dismissing through this on dismiss request. So let's run our app again and see this change. Let's click on this icon. So here let me select any of this subject, so it has disappeared. Again let's try to click on any other. So here we can see it is working perfectly fine. So in this video we have set up our date picker and this bottom sheet. So here our task screen has completed, and in the next video we will start designing our next screen, that will be session screen. So do subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.